Yeah, good day, guys. You know, I never stop pushing the limits with these detectors. And over about the last couple of weeks, I've done some, I would say, a deep dive looking at ways of improving what we've already improved. And I went down a particular path, and it has come up really, really well. I'll show you this. This is getting on the verge of, I don't know if we can push it any further, but maybe we can, because every time I say that, we now come up with, you know, greater noise reduction, greater sensitivity, greater and better ways of, you know, knocking out EMI without affecting the signal from targets. But at the moment, I've got this 5000 sitting there on the bench, and this is, I'm going to show you. I can't explain this, but I can. But you know, why give all the opposition out there the heads up? So some very neat stuff has been done to this one. I'm going to turn it on, and I'll show you what she does. I've got the microphone sitting over there, speaker there, and basically with this detector, I've gone fully automatic on the gain. Okay, the gain, full automatic. You do not have to manually adjust the gain on this detector. This thing is unreal. Now listen, I've got it on the twin coils to cancel out most of the room EMI. This detector's so sensitive, it's actually picking up the power supply in the oscilloscope, right? It's not meant, oscilloscopes aren't meant to leak, but they do. So anyway, without the oscilloscope on, without the soldering iron on, without the heater on, because it's a cold day again today, and without lights on, it's dead quiet. It's just dead quiet. There's no warbles at all. If you listen to that, out in the goldfield, it would be as quiet as that. So anyway, let's get on with it. Now, this is in. I'm just going to show you, just going to check the modes on this first before I go and do this. I want to make sure, okay, I'm going to put this into the hardest mode to go on very, very small gold by pushing the limits on the detector is the fine gold mode. If anything's not right, it'll fall over. It will desensitize. And I'm going to tell you, someone was out doing some testing yesterday. At this point, I won't mention any names, but the guy testing and the guy having, well, testing, is it testing or was it training? Sorry, training's a word. The training is the word I'm looking for. So, yeah, person I know was out training someone to use their detector, and they had a detector that had been modified by someone else. And this detector had, I think it had variable gain of some description put on the detector. But what I was told is that the gain that was on this detector had to be put back to near, like, probably, you're saying near zero, but I would say it's like 1 out of 10. I wasn't there, I don't know. It was just a phone call from out in the field. And he said that if he put the gain up any more, it brought in terrible amounts of EMI interference. So he relied on the back gain in the detector. And by doing that, he said it worked quite well. But the other thing he did say too, when he put it in fine gold and turned the gain up, the detector went dead quiet. It desensitized. And that is the biggest problem, getting the gain across all modes of operation and bringing the gain back when you're in fine gold. You can't just go and trim it back in fine gold, because the control signals for fine gold also operate on other modes and enhance, and you just crank that back as well. So that's crazy. But when you allow a blanket increase of gain across all modes, you can desensitize the detector. Basically, the poor thing can't switch quick enough with the capacitance on its signal lines and desensitizes. So be wary of detectors that have variable gain and it is not compensated for the operation in fine gold mode. But I'm going to show you what we can do. This thing here at the moment is in normal, but I'm going to shove it into special fine. And you can probably see on the oscilloscope there that the waveform has changed to very, very tiny little pulses, which is indicative of being in fine gold or enhanced, but that's where it is at the moment. So what I'll do, I'll swing this around, and you'll probably see a big stack of post-it notes on the coil. Now, I'm pushing the limits here, okay? This is in fine gold. If I turn everything off, it'll be quieter, but we'll let a little bit of EMI come in. So anyway, I'll move this tripod around a little bit, like so. I'll try and get this level. I think that's probably level enough. Okay. First target, let's just try a ring, okay, to prove it works. Tiny little coils, sensitive as all hell. Okay, now I've got to find some proper targets, which I just had in my hand, and I must have put them down because I was hooking up the microphones, so they must be around here somewhere. Okay, let's try that one. You can read it. 0.0. Can you read it there better? 0.0025 of a gram stuck on the end of that piece of plastic. The other target, which is Old Faithful, 0.005 gram stuck on the end of this piece of wood. And this is, I've had these for years and years and years, and these are my general testing targets, as in my go-to reference. So, first of all, let's try 0.05 of a gram. In other words, basically, you know, a fly speck. Oh, sorry, to the person who always goes nuts if I do this. Makes the same noise as doing this. But look at the height. Look how high I am above the coil. Okay. I'll lay that there. They won't get in the way. Now we'll get on to the 0.025. Someone said, show us your fingers or something when you do this. Okay. I'm going to show you my fingers. Hang on. I'll put that there like that. Right. So there's no witchcraft. Right. There you go. That's it. Have a look. No cuts, no breaks. I'll keep talking, so there's no sneakiness going on. Right, you can see it, 0.025 of a gram. Yeah, I've got noise coming in. How about I just turn off the oscilloscope and stuff? Because any noise will turn that off. Turn that off. I know there's a switch on here. Actually, if I just turn that off. I don't want to turn the lights off. Okay, I'll just leave the overhead light on. And because I put the heater on, that's probably making noise as well. So I'll kill the heater. Okay. Maybe it's a tad quieter. It should be. It made noise when I turned everything on before, but I don't know what's on in the house. So anyway, there we go. 0.025. Nothing else. Nothing in the hand. So we'll go over it. Wants to pick it up, then it doesn't want to pick it up. Anyway, maybe these things are fluffed up or something. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Let's have a go again. It does pick it up, but it's a bit iffy. Like I say, I'm probably pushing the absolute hell out of it. I'm also in fine gold. Hang on. It's like I say, 0.05. And even on 0.05, no, it's putting out about there. But down here, not a problem. Maybe I'm just asking too much. I put that on as a last minute thing, so we'll go over it again like that. So that's a boomer of a signal, more or less, at that distance. We'll go over the 0.025 again at that, and we'll see what happens. It doesn't like me swinging it too wide. I don't know why. Very touchy. Take a stack off. Here we go. Easy fix that though. Fine gold is a bit of a beast. Now we'll just see if it, I've lowered it down anyway. We'll try the nasty Kalgoorlie hot rock on it. So we'll put it into tracking. Go on, track out. Give it one more flick, and back into tracking. And tracks that one out. This is We got rid of that one totally. But that nasty one is really nasty. This one here is the same type of hot rock, but it's smaller. Hang on a sec. Eventually you can track it out, but the main mode of operation for this, even though everything's cranked up to the max on this on fine gold, and you know, if we get the little tiny target here, that thing, whoops, nearly slipped out my fingers. I mean, it's pushing the limits of pulse induction technology. It really is on something so small. But go into normal mode. This is where it gets interesting. Okay, we are in normal mode. Now, fine gold, enhance and all that is meant to enhance the signal response on very, very tiny targets and cut out a lot of the ground noise. Now, this is normal mode, but I've done a trick on normal mode. We'll get more out of it. This is why I can never understand, and I never have been able to understand, why everyone with one of these 45s, GPs, well, actually, not the GP because you haven't got the modes, but you know, the GPX 45 and 5 or 48, that, you know, people set it up so it's quiet. And I mean quiet as in they use the quietest mode, like they just shove it in enhance. Or on these, they might put it in fine gold, but usually you see everyone running around in enhance. That is what I would call the first lesson in how to never find a big nugget at depth, right? Just does not have the punch or the reach. You're walking over gold. Anyway, let's have a look at small stuff again, right? I don't know if anyone really wants to pick up tiny little bits of gold like that, but you can hear it. It's there. I can hear that. And because the room's now the room is quiet. Also, the other modes can be noisy. They are more susceptible to EMI. Normal mode, listen to that. It's just purring. Okay, this is a big ask. You can hear it, no problem. So normal mode can pick up very, very small gold, but it's also going to scream on big, deep targets. I mean, why would you not use it? People will say, well, normal mode, you have massive problems with hot rocks and so forth. There's methodology out there which we've been using for years to identify hot rocks. With these detectors, basically, if you I'm going to say this, right? This is probably one of the most important things about prospecting with one of these PI detectors. You normally cannot track out a gold target. It will not. I've never been able to do it. With an iffy gold target, I'm sitting there and I'm going, adjust, track out. I'm going down on the target like this with the coil. Bang, bang, right? It won't track out. Clay, yes it will, right? Hot rocks to a degree, Yes, they will, right? Especially if they're not up near the top of the thing here, they're going to track out. They're here, they're going to scream. But at depth, I've never, ever been able to track out a gold target. Now, there may be instances where that is not 100% correct for a particular environment. I haven't worked all the ground in the world. I don't know. I've only worked Western Australian and Victorian goldfields, okay, which are some of the absolute worst in the world anyway. And I've never, ever tracked out a nugget. If I've ever had anything that has tracked out and it was near the surface, I'd dig it anyway just to prove a point. And I never ever found a gold nugget by doing that. So that could be very, very important. So this normal mode on a 0.05, realistically, that should, normally it wouldn't scream, of course. You wouldn't probably hear it because I've done tests anyway, haven't I? Remember I've done normal mode tests in the past and you got to scrub the coil and you can hardly hear it. Well, like I say, that's in normal mode, just normal timings, garden variety. Okay, let's go and see what this does with hot rocks. Will it cancel them out? The other modes are meant to be, especially enhancers, better at cancelling out hot rocks. Fine gold's funny. Everyone loves fine gold. I don't use it, right? I do not use it. The reason is, with a detector that's been modified up the way I do it, I will just use normal mode. Okay? Really, really bad circumstances, I may use enhance, but in most cases, if it's really over the top, I'll try, no matter what, to stay in normal mode, even cranking the gain down and everything. You are still going to get big nuggets at reasonable depth. As soon as you go to enhance, no, gone. You won't get them. You're not going to dig a life-changing size piece of gold. You're going to walk over it. This is the biggest trouble out there. Like, you see it all the time. When detectors first came out, back in, decent detectors came out probably in the mid-1990s. We had other detectors out beforehand in the 1980s, and they just did not have any penetration whatsoever. And anyway, we had pulse inductions come out, and then people were finding big nuggets. They weren't all over the place, but every so often you'd find it. But the gold's still out there. I'm sure it's out there. You can't cover every square inch of Australia. It's impossible. And the gold's getting smaller and smaller because the detectors are designed to get smaller and smaller and smaller and just keep the public happy. You found your 0.1 or whatever it may be. You're happy you found gold. It's a pity you just walked over the bloody, half kilo lump. But anyway, I'm not going to go too much into that. So anyway, this is working on the 0.05. 0.1. 0.1 is probably the thing you really want to go for. You're not going to miss it, are you? About there. 0.1. 0.1. Normal mode. Hot rock. Let's see what happens. I'm going to bring the stack down, but first of all, I'll set the fast track on this. So all you got to do is flick it from fixed to tracking, and it'll go 5 seconds odd fast track. Normally, we'll do that. Okay, and then it should track out. Okay, gone. Let's get the level down. Yep. This thing's probably set on very slow tracking. It was that's how you also make the detector quieter as well, by the way, if you've got a lot of EMI. Put the tracking on very slow. Don't ever have fast, choppy tracking. Now, I'll just flick that again, just see if it comes out. Ouch. Got my toenail on the end of the tripod. Gone. Okay. Normal mode, people. Normal. We're riding the coil now. I'll just whack it into fast track. And we're going to get proximity effects because it's a damn big lump of metal near the coil. So if you go over into the coil, it's definitely going to alter the capacitance. So that's how well we get a reaction on the hot rock. So that one's dead. Let's try the real nasty one. Can we get rid of this nasty, nasty hot rock on normal timings with this detector crank right up? Different rock profile. I'll flick it from tracking, fixed, back to tracking. So if you had this in, say, slow tracking and you're going over the ground, you'll come up on these, they will sound off, but all you do is pump the bloody thing and it will track out. It's gone. It's gone. So if you're getting signals like you don't know what they are and they're very broad, gold, deep gold can be broad too. It can be a broad signal. But these things, they will track out. Now, let's see. Say we have a piece of gold. So we have 0.025, right? And you get a tiny signal. Well, it's going to be a bigger signal. Okay, watch this. Now, I'm going to put it in fast tracking. Let's see if it tracks out. Can we track it out? Track out, come on. Sorry, hang on. Someone's going to whinge at me for doing that. Come on, we'll try again. We'll see if we can track it out. Bang, bang again. Please track out. But normally you'd pump it on like this. So this idea of tracking out gold is complete, utter, Bravo Sierra, BS. I'll show you something else. People will say, oh, but the hot ground is going to have an effect on that. And it's all going to get confused in the hot ground. Really? Okay. Let's get some hot ground. Concentrated hot ground, right? I'm going to get this, and hopefully I can do this, because I don't know if I can. I'll hold it like so. Here's our little thing in hot ground. I don't even know if I can hold it. Everything's going to fall apart, but anyway. Hang on a sec. It's still there. It is diminished, but who wants to dig that? Let's go for something a bit decent. Let's go for a 0.05. Hopefully, I'll put it on top of the hot rock like so, way up here. Okay. Now this should in all logic track out. It hasn't. I'm going to put it into fast track and do this. Okay, it made a complete liar out of me. So the ground was that hot. Would you be able to hear it anyway? Yes. I've got to think this out a little bit more. But like I say, that's in fast track. Okay. Do it again. Grab that. So odd shaped rock. Does diminish the signal. It does. But I don't think all the ground is hot rock. I think I was getting a little bit too clever for myself there. Say, for instance, I've got these big... hang on, I can do that. How about we use standard Goldfield soil? Okay, standard Goldfield soil. Now get rid of all this. Okay. I have to ground balance this. Let's see if it ground balances. That's not standard ground. That's not standard. That's tons and tons of crushed hot rock. It's not standard Goldfield soil. Damn it. I do have the Goldfield soil, but it's socket. I won't be able to detect through it because it's probably about 5 inches thick. Like if I get the old magnet there, I'm trying to detect through that stuff, and that is just pure ironstone. Which I wish I didn't do that now, because I'll never get it off the magnet. Damn it. And because I had little bits of wire stuck in there as well. Oh no. I'm pulling it off the magnet. I had bits of wire on a magnet. And now I hope I haven't contaminated it with bits of metal wire. I'm going to have to check that. Yeah. No, it's all reactive. Let's try this again. Okay, this is like massive overkill, but I'm going to try and do it. Okay, in tracking, normal mode, massive ironstone. It's going to be really hard to do because it's going to bounce everywhere. Oh, I'll do it though. We'll persevere on. Come on. Yeah. Come on. I think it's just asking way too much. It really is. But even so, where's my stick? What I'm trying to get at is that even though the detector's roughly ground balanced to this sort of stuff, I don't know if it's properly ground balanced because it's going smack hard on the coil. It's like no one detects impure ironstone. Like even if you kick the ground, it would move, it would go off. But you know, let's see if we can get rid of that through this. And I was going to fast track. No, it won't. But I think if you've got a piece of gold with a dirty big hot rock, and it's just the mass of the hot rock is just so much greater than the gold, yeah, you could probably track it out. But normally, with something big, like what I'm getting at, say if you had to get rid of this for a second, okay. Say for instance, you had a piece of gold, say that's a ring, okay. Well, actually, how about we just use a 0.1? Let's prove a point. 0.1, okay. So what we'll do, I'll get these 3 hot rocks, okay? Nasty, nasty. This is probably really ridiculously reactive, but we're going to try it. I'll try and get rid of them. Fast track. Okay. Can we hide gold with this? Okay, 0.1. Fast track, here we go. It does greatly diminish the signal, but like I say, hot rocks like that, obviously it is going to have an effect. Well, let's make it a massive hot rocks like that, and I'll put a gold ring under the hot rocks. Gold ring sitting there under the hot rocks. Can we get rid of it? I'll just make this thing go fast track. Never in a million years. I'm trying it at fringe just to try and get the thing to track. Okay. With that sort of setup, you're not going to be able to track it out in a million years. That's what I'm saying. It's more than likely, this is total overkill. The ground is not. If you had ground that was all like that, you wouldn't be able to detect. It just, the whole detector would never ground balance. It would scream. So what I'm getting at is that any piece of gold which is relatively worthwhile digging in normal mineralized ground should be fine. I've got an idea here. Okay, how about down here? Beautiful. I've got a cup of Denali dirt, okay? Usually completely reactive. But this stuff is quite hot. It actually, I'm not going to go stick the magnet on it. It makes a mess. But anyway, you can hear it. Even in normal mode, the detector's relatively quiet. So what I'll do, 0.05, so I should be able to detect. No problem, let's go and fast track it. Can we get rid of it? Sorry, I'm going to do it this way, but I'm well above the coil. It's too small a target. Like, use a 0.1. If you want me to go this way, I've got to use a 0.1. So I'll try and track it out. Okay. What I'm saying is you're not going to track the thing out. That's just normal hot ground. So, you know, compared to the you know, compared to the ironstone, yeah, it's just asking a bit too much. Normally what I would do, I would get some of this ironstone, mix it in with this, and make up a nasty brew. I have got some brew out in the garage like that, and it makes it a lot more difficult to ground balance. So it's basically pushing ground balance as far as we can. Using those Kalgoorlie hot rocks is just absolutely out there. It is really, really severe. So that can go back in there. So what I'm trying to prove out is you can run normal mode and get small gold, and in general goldfield ground, which is your dried up clays and decomposed rocks and everything else, whatever makes up the matrix of the ground, you are not going to track out small bits of gold, and you do have the capability to get rid of hot rocks in normal mode, which means with one of these modified detectors, you can get tiny gold. Okay, you're not going to track it out unless it's like bunched up with hot rocks, which then no one's going to detect it anyway. It won't be there. But normal ground and the ground matrix, small gold, it's going to ping straight off. You should not be able to track it out. It will respond in normal mode, or you can use the other normal timings like sensitive extra will also work perfectly fine. As far as I know, I have done tests in the past. I could go and throw it in there and prove it all out, but I've done this for long enough now, I think. You could run around in enhance, obviously, fine gold, and all you're going to do in those modes is the bigger gold that needs more energy to excite that gold, you're not going to be able to do it, and it's out of reach. So, no, I think that if people actually did learn with these type of detectors to detect in normal mode, obviously you got to do some tricks to the detector to get it to be able to do that without just reacting crazily on every hot rock, because normal mode has been an issue in the past, especially on wet ground and reactive clay and stuff like that. But this gets around it. So you got a detector that's going to scream on big stuff. I mean, just on it like a ring. Even a tiny little coil like this. How are you going to miss that? I mean, little coils aren't made to go that high. And so as I go higher and higher, the signal's getting wider. Well, this is actually a cancel type coil situation. So if it was acting as a mono, it would be picking up a lot further, but it's field cancellation, so it's cancelling its local field a little bit too, unless you get close to the coil. But as soon as you go up here, it starts doing a cancellation. So, you know, a mono is going to work a lot better than that anyway. I'm only doing this so I can run it here, because just say if I dropped it out of phase, have a listen to how noisy it is in this room. If I drop this out of phase, okay, and I'll go. Now this is how a mono would sound. So I can't do any testing with that. And if I did have the ring, running it like that, you can't hear it through the noise, but it can get it pretty high up. But like I say, signal's hidden in the noise. We'll go back and run them. So the detector basically is cancelling any noise coming in like this on the detector. Goes in the detector and just subtracts one from the other. The noise is gone. We have an offset here, so the target can register here. We're not. If I do it probably up here, right in the middle, it'll probably cancel the target. So that's what you got to remember when you do this. If you're out in the field, you want to use a cancellation system like this, and you're looking for bigger gold, separate the coils, separate them further out, so you don't get that cancellation effect. This is fine for small gold, you know, probably to about that deep, probably, I don't know, you know, grammars, you know, half gram, stuff like that. And right on it, it's going to ping like crazy anyway, of course. But if you're trying to get to anything at depth, you're going to go over a target, and the signal from the target's going to go into both coils, and it's going to try and cancel it with this coil arrangement. So you'd separate it. So if it's over here, this signal is not getting in over here. But the further these are apart, you can get an increase in EMI. Depends on the frequency of the EMI and just the angle of attack and stuff like that. But normally you can spread these out. You could also, you know, you could probably change the shape and all sorts, or just get a single mono and flip into a figure eight. It's probably one way of doing it. And on the figure eight part, you could probably compress that in and stretch it out further. There's a lot of experiments you can do with this stuff. So anyway, this was an idea that in normal circumstances you can't track gold out. Yes, you can, like I said, in particular ground, and it would have to be based on nearly pure ironstone. And I would say that most detectors will not handle that. They're going to absolutely just put out, and you won't be able to get anything anyway. But this is, you know, a way to detect big stuff deep and get small stuff at the same time. And, you know, this is quite applicable to using GP detectors because they're all normal mode. You can even apply this and stick it in the old SDs, which are not bad detector. When you look at all the detectors from the SD upwards, with normal mode of operation, just normal timings, you're starting to get consistency in big gold depth capability. It's all much of a muchness. What has happened is that they're more, and as time's gone on, they got more and more sensitive to very, very tiny gold. And like I say, that, in my opinion, is just a marketing exercise, because if people aren't finding gold, no one gets excited, never makes the news, no one talks about it, and thus detector sales will go down because it's, you know, a very, very boring hobby. And as people find smaller and smaller gold, they all talk about it, and of course the interest in the hobby goes up, there's more detector sales. It's common sense. So by pushing the detector design and operation to go for smaller gold, yes, there's lots of little tiny bits of gold come out, probably, and in my opinion, at the expense of bigger gold at depth. It just is not detected. So we've proven that in the past, years and years ago, when we tried using enhanced mode on big coils and had 30-ounce targets and all the rest. I couldn't even hear it at 2 feet. Just freaking not there. You know, go to normal mode. Boom, boom. Oh, there it is. So the trick was to get normal mode working as well on the small gold, on the tiny, tiny gold, as it does on the big gold. Nothing beats it for depth. I have gone out. This is years ago, and there's videos to prove it. And I think I had someone with me. I can't remember who it was. And Jason was probably there doing the film work, and I was probably might have been with Matt or someone. But anyway, we had a 7000. We had GPs, and we're doing the test at Talbot, and that, not joking. The modified 45s we're using at the time, absolutely much. Go back and look at the videos. I don't know where they are. They're probably 150 videos back or something. But it just shows. You get target in the ground, sweep with one, sweep with the other. One detects it, one doesn't know it's there. What does that tell you? So, you know, obviously still some big gold gets found by people using all sorts of detectors. Just depends. But a lot of it is walked over. It just does not get down there. So that's my take on it. That's my opinion. I know corporates won't like me saying that, but it's bloody truth. It's a truth. It just doesn't go down deep on particular size targets. You know, so that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it unless someone proves me otherwise. But anyway, that's the idea behind this. It was just to show that these detectors, the older ones, can run really, really nice and quiet and get tiny, tiny gold, which, see, gold's getting quite expensive now. So yeah, maybe 0.0025s are worth collecting. But if you want to go and do the maths on it, it's not worth very much. You're better off looking for bigger gold and paying more attention to bigger gold. You know, 0.1s, yes, I suppose if you're on a patch and there's a lot of 0.1s, dig them up. Great, you know. But I would rather be going for the cubic ounce pieces, and those things are usually at more depth. Gold is heavy. What is it? 19 times heavier than water. You get clays and wet ground and any sort of you know, movement in the surface. What's the gold going to do? It's going to go zoop, 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 zoop. And over millions and millions of years, it's going to go down, down, down. And you know, a lot of the stuff that's found around the surface, quartz floaters, you got light quartz on it, and it just stays around the surface. Small bits of gold, you know, flaky gold, just doesn't have the mass to go down. So you're going to find all that sort of stuff. But anything really chunky, it usually goes down, rests on the bottom clay layers. It can penetrate the clay layers too, has been known. Ask about the hand of faith. And you can't talk now to the guy, but Kevin. But if you go and look at the records and what he told me years ago, that the area had been surfaced at Kingower down to a level of clay, red clay. And that hand of faith, shaped like a hand, had gone in like that. It had gone in to that clay layer and sunk in and was covered. And the old guys, even though they worked there, they didn't dig into the clay. And they missed out on that big, 817 ounces or whatever it was. Oh, don't quote me on that. I'm just guessing from what I try and remember about that sort of stuff. But, you know, that is, you know, that's a life-changing nugget. So, you know, gold will sink into clay layers depending on the orientation and depending how long it's been sitting there. It's been sitting there for millions of years. It's not going to stay there. It's going to go down. So keep in mind, if you want big gold, be very careful what detector you're using, what type of coil, size of coil. You don't have to go to really, really big, monstrous, ridiculous size coils. We tried, I'm trying to recall from videos like done maybe, I don't know, 8 to 10 years ago, but something like a 16-inch coil, 18-inch coil, somewhere around that there, on a target which we actually didn't have multi mega $1,000 pieces of gold to go test with, even though occasionally people would come out and bring their big nuggets for us to test with. But I'm not going to go do that on the video because it'll cause you know, especially nowadays, cause your front door to get kicked in. But we were trying on, I think in the videos we use crushed Coke cans, okay, on a stick, and we put them in the 4-foot hole, which is what, 1.2 odd something meters, and with 16 and 18-inch coils, and even we had an old elliptical coil, which could have been a 15 by 12 or something. We could hear those big targets. This is with 4500, and when we tried it with other detectors, couldn't hear it. It just wasn't there, just didn't get picked up, even though they had bigger coils. Anyway, that's enough waffle on this subject. If you want the big gold, and my battery's saying it's low, so I better close that off. And yeah, that's that, and that's that, and that's me signing out. Catches.